Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Goose here, and I've got a quick little deck tech plus random matches video about eggs, the modern combo deck that uses a bunch of these and these to get to that is the basic idea. And the way it works is you can use ghost quarters, a bunch of eggs, ironworks, and lotus blooms to generate mana and cards. Because every sunrise effect, all of them will come back, and eventually just draw enough cards so that you can use one of these or these to get enough mana to Banefire your opponent for approximately 20. So we've got two mainboarded cards that are more silver bullets than anything because our main card is Reshape. We can reshape, generally it's just 2 mana reshape for a bloom, essentially net 1 mana, and eventually a ton over the course of the turn. So that's an easy way to get blooms out before they unsuspend. And then reshape can also be used to, once we've got an engine going of ironworks, then we can just get our wellsprings out of the deck to draw more cards. And then our two, we actually have 3 like silver bullets. This card is very good against Thalia. It's also just like a solid card in general, helps going off pretty well. If you're under a lot of mana constraints, the face rewards costing us like, down to a single white is very helpful. Like I said, Thalia helps a lot. Stuff like that. You can reshape for bigger things without spending more mana. Needle is for the potential mainboard graveyard hate, because we can reshape for it. Can also stop walkers and, variety of things. Just the fact that it costs 1 is very helpful because we can just reshape for it very easily, probably sack like a Citadel or something irrelevant. And Defense Grid is very good against the Delver decks in Game 1. If you don't naturally draw it, which you normally don't, but if you don't, then you can potentially reshape for it, and they might just let the reshape happen, not knowing what you can get, and then the Defense Grid basically shuts down all of their interaction. Let me scoot this up a little bit. So the main idea of most of the cards is, like I said, just to generate card advantage and mana in order to Banefire. And if Banefire gets ripped out of your hand and then surgicaled or something, game 1, then whatever, you deserve to lose. But it's a very consistent, very fast combo deck for game 1. And then games 2 and 3, we've got a very interesting sideboard. Erases and Echoing Truths are pretty much for the same stuff. We just want to make sure we don't die to it. Mostly Stony Silence, because it does actually just turn off everything in the deck, except for Ghost Quarter. So that's really awkward. And then Echoing Truth can be used for that, or Leylines. I normally bring in at least 1 Echoing Truth, or 2 Erases, at the very least, just in the dark. And then obviously when it comes to Game 3, if I know about one of those, then I can bring these in more volume. We have our second defense grid in the board, once again against Delvers, so you actually have a potential to draw it, and if they end up, killing one, you can still get another. Needles obviously come in against Graveyard Hate. Normally you want to just bring it in against Pod, because it's never dead. Also against Tron, because they pretty much always have Relic in the board, and also you can turn off Karn. It's just a very, very good effect to have in multiples. Then we've got our Pirate Spellbomb as another win condition. This one is a little more interesting. I personally like bringing it in against Thalia, so I can just kill it right at the start, and then once if I cast that, like this first one, yeah, Thalia comes back, so does that. So it's like, it's just a very solid answer to Thalia. And then if I do these, I can just draw cards with the Spellbomb. And then the single timely is basically just a Miser's card against the aggressive decks. I definitely want to change that, though. Probably cut 1 timely, 1 erase for a defense grid, and probably just do 2 defense grids actually. It's probably the correct thing to do. And then our last couple cards we have Ley Lines, which you board in against Jund or Burn, whatever. It's very, very, very good. Storm, actually. I won countless games against Storm just by going turn 0 Ley Line. And then they're like, alright, game 3. So, it's very good for that. And then Maniac is another one of our loopholes to Ley Line of Sanctity. I guess loophole is not the right word, but whatever. You know what I mean. And he's just another way to win, and he actually wins. Once he resolves, you win, because all you have to do is sack a sphere. Once you're on 0 cards, you just play Maniac, sack a sphere, it's a mana ability, you win. It's basically a split second win. No removal can stop it, so Maniac is very good for that. And that's pretty much the deck. I guess I will record a couple matches.